Oh, what a putz. Wow.
Putz. Someone asked you what a putz is, and I said it's a
Yeah.
schmuck. They don't
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
It's funny when you speak Yiddish to people. They don't know what the fuck you're
Yeah, people
talking
want to know
about.
what a putz is. Yeah, I think I saw it
They
on.
don't. Hey, you know what we are? Who are
We
you?
are. Who am I? You should
Yeah.
know by now. We're Fat Fish. I'm Brad Grunny Grunberg, a.k.a. Snacks.
And I'm Eric the Fish Snyder, a.k.a. Raccoon Head, Mr. Magoo Eyes,
Yeah, what are you wearing?
whatever you want to call me. I got the yarmulkes. What kind of
Yeah,
hat
what
is
is
this?
that?
I got a
it's
Jack
a
Daniels
Raider
hat on
shot?
today.
Is that a Raiders? Is that a Raiders hat? What is that?
No, it's a Jack Daniels hat, but it's on the side, it's inaugural 2020 Raiders season. So, it's I feel like I haven't seen you in a long time, so I have to start the show off with.
That's
I
purposely.
know how you're doing because you text me when I'm bartending at night at Chuck's Tavern. Brad texts me every hour and a half. How you doing? Is any hookers in there? And what's going on? Which leads me to believe that Brad has sleep deprivation, or like many men in their 50s and 60s, gets up to take a leak every hour and a half. But I love talking to Brad during the graveyard and talking about it because he is a 24-hour guy. I want to ask you something. What is a typical Brad Grunberg day like? We know you're the caretaker of your wonderful parents, Jerry and Sandy. But when you get people asking, what does Brad do on a daily basis besides, look for acting work in a writer's strike world?
I just drive around to all the drive-thrus. Yeah. I just go from Kentucky Fried Chicken to Burger King to McDonald's. I spend all my time eating. No, I have a couple of projects. I have one with you. I have a TV show. I have a reality show I'm trying to sell. I have a big movie that somebody's interested in, a comedy, an 80s comedy. I have a cop drama. So I'm out there. But right now there's a strike, a big writer strike. Soon there's going to be an actor strike. Then there's going to be a director strike. Everybody's going to be striking. We're going to squeeze these studios to tap out and come to the negotiating table and do what they should have done a long time ago, negotiate in good faith.
Yeah, it's a shame. I've got family.
You froze. There you go.
Family, and I have family and friends that are obviously in Los Angeles. Yourself,
Wait a minute. You have family, a beautiful family. You have no friends. Come on, man. Please. Come on. You have friends?
Well, I found you somewhere in some drive-through. I think it was El Pollo Loco. It was a 2-for-1 special.
I went there yesterday. Yeah.
No, but on a serious note, and the thing about it is, I want to ask your opinion of this. This is one of my topics today, is that when I talk to people at the bar about it, there's no sympathy for anyone in Hollywood going on strike. But they don't realize that the things that you watch and entertain you have to write them. But again, do you understand where the mass public doesn't have any sympathy for people in your business?
Yeah, why is that? What do they think we make an absolute millions and millions of dollars? There's only a very small percentage of the big stars, I'm talking actors or creators or writers, that make money. Guys like me, I'm a rank and file guy. I'm a character actor. I make a living, but it's not like a bartender from Las Vegas by the name of Fish. People, there's misconceptions about how much money people in show business make. I'm telling you. And the strike that is happening is far-reaching, Fish. It's the flower lady. It's the craft service guy. It's the guy who washes the cars at the car wash for the big stars and the producer. It's terrible. This is going to be really, really ugly. It's going to get bad.
And it's sad because they say that LA's losing $30 million a day. Yep. $30 million a day. The main industry in Los Angeles, where Brad is born and raised, and so is the Fish Man, is the entertainment business. And you can say what you want, but when you walk into a bar, everyone says, "Did you see Cobra Kai on Netflix? Did you see Brad on Shameless?" These are written. And the creative abilities of Hollywood, I'm looking at a guy right now that's part of the creative abilities of Hollywood. I feel for you, but I'm born and raised there. I guess the average schmuck doesn't give a shit, but they should, because whenever I look at it this way, let me give you an analogy. Whenever in sports, whenever the players go on strike, Brad, against the owners, I'm always on the players' side. Well, I'm on your side right now against the producers, the writers that just want money from streaming, because it seems like they're getting fucked all the time out of royalties and residuals. Can you get us up to speed on what really the writers are looking for? Am I in the ballpark?
Yeah, fair playing field. I mean, the studios are making millions. I'll give you an analogy. Remember when cable started back in the 80s?
Sure.
They did the same bullshit excuse. Well, we have to do a study and see how many people are really watching and how much money we're making. They were making millions of dollars. In the year 2000, I was doing a lot of commercials. We had a strike because they weren't paying us on cable the money they should have for all the time we put in to do commercials. And we make money where a person makes money when they do a commercial on network. That's traditional. But now there's cable and now there's streaming. How many commercials do you see on streaming? A lot, right?
Yeah.
They're making a fortune and they're not telling the truth. They're sandbagging us. And also there's other issues, like there's something called a mini room now for writers, where they'll bring in young writers who maybe right off the banana truck, and they'll, like 4 or 5, they'll write some scripts before the show even gets picked up by a network or a streaming or a cable service. And now they have 4 scripts, but they didn't bring in real writers. These people are non-union, and I'm telling you, they're cutting corners. And we have families. People have kids. You have kids. I have kids that I don't know about yet, but they're going to tap me on the shoulder one day. But no, it's very serious. And if we're the writers are striking, the actors will strike, and the directors will strike for many generations to come. This is not for the present. This is for decades. Because if we don't get what we deserve in the writers and the actors and the directors, it's all over. And this AI, oh, don't get me started on that. So there's so much going on. It's really sad. People are, they're freaking out. I remember the last strike I went through in 2000 with the commercials.
Well, let me ask. Well, let me change gears a little bit, because I'm going to run this, and I get because you're the wisdom of this show, and I'm the clown. You think you're the clown, but you're not. You do another podcast, which is actually a professional podcast called How'd You Start, with the beautiful Lauren Francesca, and you've had Tom Sizemore, Robert Carradine. I watched the other day, I'm plugging you. You had Barry Williams on, who was Greg Brady and the Brady Bunch. When I rented a beach house in Malibu, he hung out there. I wanted to come on and say something.
No way.
Oh yeah, the famous beach house that I rented in 1983-84. He must have had a place on the beach. I remember him being a very, very, very nice and elegant man. I don't know how you approach this, but if I was doing and I think you did in a nice way.
Does this question have a question? I'm sorry.
It has a question. How come you guys didn't ask Barry Williams, or maybe you did and I missed it, because I fall asleep sometimes.
All the time.
Right now. Like, you didn't ask him the question everyone wants to know. Did you sleep with Florence Henderson or Maureen McCormick, who played Marsha?
Buddy, where were you? Did you watch the podcast? That was one of the first questions I asked him.
I must have missed it, because I'm on the podcast, and they have a ton of comments, which we're trying to achieve here on Fat Fish. Right. And ask him about Jan. Ask him about this. I'm dying laughing. And
the question we asked him, what I asked him, and Lauren did he date Florence Henderson? And he did go on a date with her. She was a great singer. He was into music. He wanted it. Well, I don't know. He didn't talk about that, but they did go on a date. It's true. And then he dated Maureen McCormick for a year and a half, by the way. A year and a half while they were doing the show. And then they kind of went their separate ways, but remained friends, of course. But man, and he's been to the Playboy Mansion. I mean, he's Greg Brady, man. And could you imagine the tale that he could have gotten or did get? I think he did. He's a very humble guy, not like you. Anyway.
Well, that leads me to the next question for you, because you're my business aficionado when it comes to the business. Have you been on shows or heard about shows where cast members have trysts with each other, and it could go bad and hurt the show? I mean, I'm sure in all the history of television and movies, actors and actresses have slept with each other. I wonder if it's hurt the chemistry on air, or it's closed shows down. What have you heard personally you could tell me?
Oh, really? I can tell you. I know that. I mean, I don't know names, but I remember somebody telling me one story where the leads were dating and then they broke up. Okay. And then everything went south because they still had to have the love scenes. They still had to do all that stuff, but they hated each other. Okay. For one reason or another. It's not a great idea, but you're with each other so much, so many hours out of a week and a day. You see your cast members when you get to a day, then you see your own family. And these things tend to happen, you know? And every time I go on a set, of course, I'm a chick magnet. Most of the girls, the leads, come up to me and ask me if I'm single, and I say, "Yes, I am." And then they walk away and go, "Yeah, we figured." But it's no, yes, it happened. It's there's the violent. It happens, man. It's life. Do people fall in love at the bars that you worked at? Do people fall in love in office in companies? And they do. It's part of life, but you got to be so careful today with the PC and all that. You got to be respectful to women and vice versa. It's very serious. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, there's inner, in bars, their bartenders sleep with other employees, and it happens. And I'll tell you what you don't do in my business is you don't sleep with the customer because of the gambling. If they're a big customer and they're gambling 4,000 or 5,000 a day and you start sleeping with them, you better marry them, because if it goes bad, you're going to lose a customer and your owner's not going to be happy.
Right. Exactly.
But how do you avoid that? I've been in situations, not me personally, but I've seen it, and that could go really bad.
Well,
I'm going to show you.
Well, before you met your beautiful wife, Vicky, who finally got you off the streets of love, I got to give her a hug.
It's funny. She wouldn't go out with me. You always ask me to give you a mom story. Like she walks in the bar. This is circa 1988, and we always go. And you worked in the nightclub business, so the DJ knows all the girls, right? And remember, moms had that little that upper bar area with the big ledge, overlooked the dance floor. I go up to the DJ, who's Tano Costa. We talked about him. And I said, "Tano, who's that girl down there with the tight blue jeans on, the jean jacket, got a great ass? She's holding a Miller Lite in one hand and a bottle and a shot of tequila." He goes, "Man, I've been watching her, man. She dances and stuff like that, but she doesn't. She always leaves by herself." Well, you know me. I got the 2 hoop earrings on. I got the mullet. I got my members only jacket.
Great look. Great look.
I got my tight Jordache jeans. I walk down to the dance floor, and before I get 5 feet in front of her, she puts her hand up, says, scumbag, turn around. I know guys like you, and
that's
game
great.
on. And then, I would see her walk in the bar, and we talked, and it was 3-4 months. I finally saw her in an Italian restaurant. I heard her voice. I called the waiter. I said, "Take care of her, ticket." She came up and thanked me. And 34 years later, she's the unluckiest woman on the planet.
She made the best decision of her life.
You talk about thank you, buddy. And there's a girl waiting for you. She's a male. She's a mail order bride, but we'll get her.
I know. Well, doesn't matter if she's breathing. I'll take her.
Check this out. I love this. This is a new publication I'm going to sign you up for. I love this.
Sure, tell me.
Bartender women. Look at that. Women behind the bar. I just got that magazine. I'm going to read it and send it to you because it talks about bartending and bartenders behind the bar. Great women bartenders. There's not a woman bartender I know that isn't as good as a man. Actually, they're better than men because they have the flirting down tremendously. If you have a great woman bartender, we've got 4 of them at Chuck's that are phenomenal. Yeah, they make money because they know how to work the women and the men. It's fantastic. All right.
Why do people come to bars? Because, they want to go out, have a drink. They might be lonely. They just want some fun. And it's you and the girls that bring that, that happiness to them, right? You shoot the shit, you tell them stories. Hopefully, try to make them laugh. They'll walk out. But no, it's an art. Don't you believe it's an art? It really is.
Well, it teaches you for life. If you think about it, I thought about it. We've had bartenders on this show. You've asked me about it. It's how you handle people. So you handle people in life also. You learn life lessons behind the bar because you're multitasking with so many different people, and they're gambling and they're drinking, and someone it might be a little intoxicated. Some is not. Some doesn't want to talk to you when they're gambling. Some don't jibber jabber, and you have to know how to read a room. And same thing, When you go, okay, I'll ask you this, and I got a couple other memes for you. When you go into an audition, right, and you go blind into an audition, Brad Grunberg has to know how to read the room. You know how to read the 5 people that are looking at you, right? You know, okay, this girl's not really into it. This guy's checking me up and down, looking to see, if my body's right. Is that true or not? Am I just making an assumption?
Well, I mean, it hasn't been that way for many years because of the pandemic. We all do self-tape and send it in. But for many years that I've been in the business, yes, you read a room. And what I like to do, because I've been on the other side of it, I want to make that actor feel comfortable when they walk in. I might say, how you doing? What's going on? My name is, I stand up, shake their hand, because there's an intimidation that goes on when you walk in that room. If they're in a bad way, the casting director, the producers, they give you that look. I'll show you the look. Ready? Here we go.
It's great.
And then you're waiting. You're reading the lines with the casting director, which they're just reading off a piece of paper. They're not really an actor. And then you're waiting for the laughter, and this is what you get. Oh, you nailed it! Fantastic! Thank you so much.
A lot of things you watch, like one of the great movies that Tom Sizemore was in. Your good friend, rest in peace, was called True Romance.
Oh,
and Michael Rappaport's reading for a scene, and he gets 2 seconds into it, and the lady walks up and goes, "Thank you very much. We'll call you." He ends up getting it.
Yeah.
2 stories. I want you to give me a story about you, but you told me a story and share with our audience. You were friends with the great late one of my favorite actors, James Gandolfini. Tell the audience about his audition with The Sopranos and what he said to you, and then I'll give you the floor here. Give us an audition that you did, you thought you sucked at and you got. But give me Gandolfini first, that story you told me off camera.
Okay, so Gandolfini, he was just the nicest man. I saw him at an event. Let's see, what was the event? The Porno Awards. And sorry, James. But we were there, me and my buddies, and I go, "Oh my God, there's James, the guy from True Romance." So he was alone. I walked up to him. I go, "My name is Brad Grunberg." He goes, "Aren't you Snacks?" I go, "Yeah, that's me." And he says, I go, "How you doing?" I go, "Can you meet my buddies?" And he came over. He was so gracious. And I go, "So what's going on?" He goes, "I just read for this HBO show. I was terrible. It's terrible. It'll never see it will never see a TV. It'll be hidden for the rest of my life. I never want anybody to see it." I go, "What's its name?" He goes, "It's called The Sopranos." I go, "Buddy, relax. You never know. Hey, you know how us actors are. We do something, you never know." And it made his career. He didn't want to do it. He thought he was terrible. But a great actor, a great person. We miss you, James. I learned from these guys, man. The James, he's back. He's back. You learn from other actors. You meet them, they tell you their story, and if you don't learn from them, you're a fool. But James Gandolfini, amazing guy, and that was an amazing encounter. For me, let's see, what can I tell you? I read for a movie called Meatballs 4 with Corey Feldman.
Oh my God.
Bobby Logan on the show. He wrote and produced and directed the movie. And remember, there was Meatballs 1. This is Meatballs 4. And I walked in and I read, and I was playing this fat guy at camp who didn't get any girls, kind of like my life. But I was just myself. I just brought myself into it. Bobby asked me a couple of questions. I read a little bit of the sides. I made him laugh. And he just looked at me and he goes, all right. And he asked me, if I had a girlfriend, or I date a lot. And I go, if I've ever been to camp. So it was more that he asked me about myself rather than Victor Thigpen, the guy I played. And because he loved baseball. So he named all his characters after baseball players. But it's one of those things. It's like going to the gym, Fish. You got to go every time to keep that muscle strong. And you never know when you least expect it, boom. And by the way, there's a lot of actors will tell you, I turned down this film, I turned down that film. God bless Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis was not going to play the lead in Die Hard.
Really?
It was supposed to go to all these other actors. They all passed. And he just, because of moonlighting, he moved up up the ladder, and come on, is that one of the greatest movies of all time? Die Hard 1. It's pretty.
Oh, it's just it's
Hans, baby, Hans. This is radio, not TV. I mean, come on. There's some great actors. It's a great movie. One of my favorites. So you never know. An actress, you've got to keep going to auditions, even though you're tired. You don't want to drive. You don't want to go across town. You don't want to walk onto the lot. Go. That could be the part of your life.
Yeah. Say a prayer for Bruce Willis. He's not doing well, from what I understand from people. It's just that dementia hit hard. But what a library of work that guy has. And one quick story on that. One of my favorite films that reminds me of me was American Gigolo in 1980 with Richard Gere. Wow. I guess John Travolta turned that down, and here comes Richard Gere, who had bit roles, and that made him. I mean, he just hit that. That was a great film. You see any similarities between me and Richard Gere in that film? What do you think?
You? No, I see you more as Barney Fife or Ralph Furley from
Mr. Magoo.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Magoo. Hey, you want to real quick? So we're gonna talk about gyms. You brought up gyms. He doesn't know what we're talking about. Brad is what we call the ultimate unscripted. He is the king of Larry David podcast. Check this. I found out. Check this picture out. Talk about an inner circle of idiots in 1983. Look at that.
Oh gosh. Is that David Spade on the left?
No, that's our friend, mutual friend Tony Visick, big time comedian. Tony. All right. That's Dougie H. Who knows? He's in witness. Who knows what the hell happened to that guy?
Dougie H is in back of you?
Yeah, the guy with the mustache is in back of me. That's Dougie H. He was our hitman. That guy, we went in bars. Look how high or drunk I am. Look at the KLOS.
Who would wear that shirt? Exactly.
Oh, exactly. And look at my face. I've had a couple libations. I think I was going through. This is an awkward phase. The awkward phase your face goes through between puberty and manhood. And the guy on my left at the end is one of my best friends I grew up with, Craig Persky, who decided to get an afro to have my natural hair. But look at those clothes. Look at that. Oh, he looks like a Russian drug dealer in that thing. Look at that thing, Oh, hey, bro, check it out.
This crew that goes out does not get laid. No way.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going home ordering a Domino's and we're going to watch Saturday Night Live. Oh,
we should have had you as our wingman. We could have been your wingman.
There you go. I'm ready, man. Anytime we can do it.
I know you're great. You talked about
before you go on, I got to ask you a question about Vicky. Did she let you go out with the boys after 34 years?
34 years. You kidding? I let her go out with the girls. We trust each other.
I think that's important.
Yeah. I mean, you have to.
Not that anybody
you have to have your dates with your friends and stuff like that. So, yeah. What about you?
But not your parents let you go out? Want to go out with you. That's the thing. Vicky goes out with the girls. You stay home and watch Molly. Anyway, about me, I listen.
They let you go out.
Yeah. I've had a lot of fun in my life, done everything, but I still, I have some buddiys I hang out with. We watch sports. We watch the NBA finals. We watch baseball. We go to this bar called Busby's Sports Bar in Santa Monica. It's the best. It's been there 20 years. Big Mike takes care of me. He's the general manager, and it's the greatest bar. I mean, TVs everywhere, great food, right? That's what Shucks Tavern's all about, right? Great food.
Shucks Tavern, where I work, obviously right now is in heaven because you're not much of a hockey guy, but the Golden Knights are a game away from going to the Stanley Cup. They're going to play the Florida Panthers.
Night. Yeah.
Say again?
They should have won last night, man.
They should have. Well, they're the deepest team. I'll give you a little capsule, and then we'll go. You segue. We'll talk about the NBA after this but the Golden Knights have at least 4 lines that they have, and they're the deepest team in the playoffs. It's amazing. They're basically in their 6th year, and 4 times at the conference finals. This could be their 2nd Stanley Cup. Vegas loves them, so that's a lot of fun. Yes, Shucks Tavern. We show all the games with the sound, and it's a madhouse in there. A madhouse.
Oh, great!
And it's a lot of fun. Sort of food and drink. You've been there. You'll be back again. You're a legend at Shucks Tavern. The NBA. I picked the Lakers to go to the finals. The Denver Nuggets. I believe you picked them. We're Fat Fish number 12 right now. I think I'm Fat Fish 4. They're the number 1 seed. Do you think the Boston Celtics have a chance, being down 3-0, Brad, to come back and win 4 straight? I mean, they won 2.
It's this. I mean, it's all about momentum in life, good and bad. I'm telling you, Miami looks like maybe like a sixth grade team. They look terrible. They look
They
tired.
do.
They're hurt. They're not motivated. I'm telling you, if you can sweep, you got to sweep, because if they get momentum, which they have now, Boston, they're in rhythm again. I'm telling you, tomorrow's game is going to be big. If Boston wins tomorrow, it's all over for the Heat. It's all over.
That's bad. Ooh.
No, I'm telling you.
How do you survive that? How do you survive as an organization losing 4 in a row? And that's a rough. I don't know how many 3-0 teams have given up the 3-0 and lose 4 in a row. But look, you know what?
How about this? How about this? Talk to Jim Kelly. 4 Super Bowls. Scotty Norwood missing the field goal. Buddy, oh my God. Thurman Thomas, 4. And Buffalo's the greatest town in the world. You just wanted one of the 4. They couldn't do it.
I've never been to Buffalo. Have you?
Yeah, my buddy.
Never been there. It's a great blue collar town, and a great sports city. And you know, if any team, I think all sports cities deserve a championship. But you're right. If you've been there, you probably know the passion that those fans have for that team. How do you go to 4 Super Bowls and lose all of them? You at least win one of them, you know?
I don't know. Maybe it's karma. I don't know. But I'll tell you something about Buffalo and Chicago and New York. When they sit in that snow and it is, 30 below and they're cheering on their team, that's a sports town, right? I mean, who would go? I would stay home and watch the game, right? Under the covers. Not these guys, not these fans. They go in droves. Every seat's taken. Not like LA where they come early and they come late and leave early, right?
It's sad. We talked about this on a previous podcast. Yeah. I'm still flabbergasted that the Rams won the Super Bowl in their first game in SoFi to give the rings and raise the flag. There's 40,000 Bills fans there. I don't get that. I mean,
I don't either.
Look, we grew up in LA, and when the Rams played with Roman Gabriel and then John Hadel and James Harris and Jaworski and Pat Hayden and Vince Ferragamo, all men that Georgia Frontiere slept with, the Rams are decent. Then the Raiders come to town and they win the Super Bowl in their first full year, and they just took over LA. But there were still great crowds, and it wasn't well, you know what it is now? The bottom line is you watch every game on your phone. The tickets are unbelievably high priced. It's tough. It's tough to bring a family to a football game because it's $300 a ticket, buddy, easily. Lowest price. So you got 2 kids, Brad, and a wife. That's $1,200 and then the parking. You're looking at $1,500 to $2,000 just getting in and out of the joint.
More importantly, what about the food?
Well, that's it. That's why I said $2,000. You know.
No, it's true. You can't get a ticket. You're going to sit in nosebleed section. I have some friends that they're just blue collar guys, and they ask me for tickets, and I try to find them some. They're just happy to get into the building. It's just, I'm telling you, SoFi I've never been to SoFi, but it's amazing. I'm here.
Thanks. Yeah,
I hear.
I'll get you Monday.
Seen it on TV, but it's hey Jesse. No, it's sad because to go to a game, you got to be a hedge fund manager, but or a bartender at Chuck's Tavern.
Let me tell you something about Jesse Hearns. What a wonderful friend of mine. That's Tommy the Hitman Hearns' brother. He was named one of the top 10 African-American businessmen in America, and he's blowing up. There's a documentary about him. He's going to come on the show today. It was a last-minute thing. We'll get him on probably. Here we go. I'm looking forward to being on your show next week. He's a wonderful, and the pictures he has of, look at the matter of fact, Jesse might be on the back of Brad's wall right there. But instead of like Brad has like Joe Franklin and Bozo the Clown, this guy has real celebrities, Jesse Hearns, like Dana White and Tom Brady. So it'll be fun having him on. We'll look forward to that. But,
you know what I like about Jesse already? Because he made his own life. When you're in the shadow of a very famous brother or father, that could really F you up. But good for you, Jesse. Can't wait to have you on the show. I want to hear some secrets about fish, if you know what I mean.
I met him. I was bartending one night,
Yeah.
and I got off the bar and I sat for 3 hours and just bullshitted with the guy because he's just a great human being, and he's like you. I make fun of you, but he's about helping people. He helps people. He's out there. When your mantra is to help people more than help yourself, that attracts people to you. And that's why I'm with you. The only thing that stinks about hanging out with you is that if we're eating together, and we recently had a meal together, I won't say when and where, man.
Okay.
The way you eat food is you be a great babysitter. You handle the food like a newborn baby, man. You know what? And
yeah.
And I saw the way you handled the server. You over tipped. She was gorgeous, by the way. So it's like a better looking version of Shelley Duvall, but you get it. You get the business. So does Jesse Hearns. So
yeah. You got to be nice to people,
Yeah. Hey, let me show you some other stuff here. So I recently got back in the gym. And when was the last time you were in the gym?
1987. No.
So basically when Moby Dick was a minnow, you were in the gym.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's been a long time. I used to do my home workouts. I get in the gym. Nothing's changed. I can't stay. Even in Vegas, it's like going to the sports club or what was the big one in LA?
Sports Club LA.
Yeah, Sports Club LA. Where you get the guys. They're looking in the mirror. They do this, and they look in the mirror. They're doing this.
But everybody's
in the mirror. There's more guys hugging the mirror than there are working out. I get to the gym in Vegas. This is what you see. And even Brad Grunberg will admit, when I show him these memes, these are the can't do's when you go to a gym if you're a guy. There's a guy that walked in without a shirt on. Okay, I'm serious. That's what he looked like. How are you going to get laid looking like that?
Why did he wear a sweater vest in there?
I don't know. That is
wow.
That's a listen, look, you know what?
Sasquatch. What is that?
Well, you know what, Greg? Brad.
That's my brother. Hey.
And great actor too.
Yes.
Bottom line is the Homo erectus Cro-Magnon look doesn't work. But this is I can't stand people that have hair. I don't know what it is. It's none of my business, but I can't stand guys that have hair on their arm, the top of their arms.
Oh.
This is a guy. Look at this guy. That's what a gym looks like.
Oh God.
The gym I went to in Las Vegas. I won't mention names. I know the owner of the joint, but and everyone's hugging the mirror. I heard this Russian guy. I can't do the accent, but it's like, bro, look at the watch. Look at the watch. He's pulling watches out of his gym shorts and selling watches on the gym. It was insane.
Oh my God. What goes on in the gym now with social media is unbelievable. I mean, you watch some of these people and they have their cameras and their tripod set up and they're exercising and doing some of these women who wear these outfits. Oh, why don't they come in naked? I mean, it's like the tight spandex. It's fantastic.
I can't read that. But what does he want to do? I want us to go to a park and oh my God!
Barbecue
some steaks and salmon and listen to some good Motown old school music. So let's get some fellows together. I'm cooking. I'll tell you what. I will go to LA or when Brad comes to Vegas, he's coming in August. We'll get you out here and we'll do it, buddy. All right.
You're telling everybody my travel schedule? Thanks, Fish.
Well, yeah.
I'm in the witness protection program. What are you doing? I'm kidding.
Well, it takes you that long to get out here. Look how big you are. You're walking. You're four. Instead of Forrest Gump, Forrest Grunny.
Greyhound, buddy. Greyhound.
Greyhound. That's that. Yeah. You know what? Yeah.
I would love
definitely some Memphis ribs.
Barbecue. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
Jeff.
He's great. We'll get him on. He'll talk about all. He's developed 50 sauces. It's like we had Frank Oli on recently, who all these drinks he developed. This guy's a sauce king, and it's a great story. So, so that's my gym thing. I was almost comical. It's like, where's Grunny as a wingman in this place, just hanging out and just look at this guy over here. And one guy does this. I'm not shitting you. Okay. He's doing the lats. He's pulling the lats down. Right.
Right.
I'm on a whatchamacallit. I'm a recumbent bike. I'm scoping the whole joint out. He's doing this. And he does what pitchers do on the mound. He goes, he just blows his snot down
no.
on the fucking mat. I'm not kidding. You can't
Oh,
make
come
this up.
on.
And
Oh,
this is a classier gym. So my point is, even no matter when you went in the 80s or now, it's still the same bullshit. People still act like idiots, and girls wear these tight spandex and their bellies hang over and stuff like that, and and let me tell you something, people, quit putting perfume on or cologne on when you're going to work out. Okay.
yeah.
Look, you loved your nanny. I love my nanny. My nanny made the mistake, okay, of putting perfume on and the smell of mothballs. It doesn't work.
Oh my God.
You when you put her in the car and go to Art Deli or Cantor's or whatever, you
Yeah.
lose your appetite.
Yeah.
So
What's the thing about, and what about the guys hitting on the girls and the girls hitting
oh
on the guys? Oh, can I spot you? Let me spot you. I don't want you to get hurt. I mean, do you hear some of the lines these guys use? And it's
they
always
ask the girls to spot.
usually
Excuse
it's,
me, Brad.
yeah.
They ask the girls to spot them, and
Oh,
they call them bros. These Russian guys are in there.
bro,
Bro, you want to spot me? Bro, you want to spot me? And that's two girls. It's
how long was your workout? How long did you stay
But
there?
I was in there. I did about 20 minutes on the bike, and then I did some pecs and I did some legs and
Right,
stuff
right.
like that, and got into the routine. But I was more enamored with the drama, not the drama, but the actual comedy I saw being in there. It was fun. I thought about you because
Please
you're a comedian, you're a stand-up comic, and you play so many roles. And I thought, oh my God, how could we get Brad Grunberg into a gym? That'd be
we're
on
gonna
the
do
top
it.
of my head. Get you
No.
into a gym,
You
and
know
you
how
go to
we're going
these.
to get me into the gym? During Wingman, because I'm going to hang out with an athlete and they're going to take me to the gym and work me through their workout. It's going to be hilarious.
No,
And
I got a better one. Let me write it. You know what? The
no,
writers are on strike. I'm on the writers guild. Let me tell you how you do it. You go to the gym with the actor, right? And you tell them what to do, and you say, "Look at this physique. How do you think I got this way?" You're not holding.
will never be picked up. But
When you're
anyway,
doing the squats, you're not doing it right. And that funny thing is, when you do a squat, you get like that. You go all the way down. There's a donut on the ground. So
yeah. And I wear a Speedo when I work out.
oh
Yeah. Oh,
God.
God.
Oh God, I love to see
About
the sweat on that
talk
thing.
about a belly hanging over the Speedo. Thank you.
Hey, there's a controversy going in Hollywood right now. Not really controversy, but I need Brad Grunberg to settle this. Okay. Who is the more pedophile looking Willy Wonka? All right. Now, this is a legend. Hey, Fred Flintstone, baby. Yeah.
That's my boy.
That's what we say. We
Pedophile.
always say,
What are you
Brad
talking
Grunberg, when he orgasms, goes, "Dabba dabba doo."
about? Yeah. How did you
All
know?
right.
Have you been me? Have you been with me? Have you been in the room?
I've talked to women before. It's not a good look, buddy.
Yeah, it is not a good look.
Yeah, but you know what? You try. You're one of these guys.
At least I'm there. At least I'm there.
You got attitude. You're the guy that goes with the 50 women, and if one says yes, that's one. That's all you need.
I just be friendly. Like you say, LA people, they're on their phones. You say hello, they call the police. That guy said hello to me.
Isn't that sick? Well, it's the same analogy as, you're a writer and you have a script you send out to 100 production companies or people. You need one, right? Well, same with picking up on a girl for you.
You only need one, and you got to, like I said, it's just going up to the plate, taking the swings, baby. You got to keep going. Show business is a no business. Maybe no. Hey, we really like seeing you. No. Then boom, you get one, and that takes you off and takes you where you need to go, and then one leads to another, then another. Usually, it's everything happens in threes. It's happened to me so many times. I'll get a national commercial, I'll get a pilot and big movie. I mean, I got strip tease at 30 years old. My mom wanted me to, give up acting, and she wanted me to do something else. And I said, you know what? I just want to be happy. And then I got strip tease with Demi Moore, and I got a big time national commercial for Staples. I mean, when you're least expecting it, you become successful. That's the great thing about it. You put in the work, you have a good attitude, you stay humble, learn the craft, because when they say we need you on that mark to know your lines, you better know your lines, and you better know the other actor's lines, and you got to be ready to go, because it might not ever happen again.
So. You told me off when we were talking one time at Chuck's Tavern. You said there's two things that my mantras that I live by is don't quit and bring your A game, you know. And I know when you did Larry David's Curb Your Enthusiasm, the way he does his shows is he gives you, hey, this is what's going to happen in this scene, and you improv the whole thing. And I said, that is, you know what? It's amazing that you could do that, because that's actually a stage play on film, right? Because you're out there, and
I've been lucky. I've been lucky because that's what I've done all my life since I'm a little kid. I always make fun of my friends, and it's all improv. It's like Don Rickles, my hero. I see a situation and I just rip on that person. And you know what I'll do? I'm going to send you my audition tape that Larry David saw that got me the part. Okay.
Well, I got to show that. Yeah, I got to see that.
I want to
get that on there.
Show our audience, and it's great. No, I like helping people. I mean, I mentor young actors all the time, and I try to give them advice. But here's the problem: a lot of them think, "Look at me, I'm better looking than Brad Pitt. I'm from a small town in Idaho." Yeah, who cares? You're in the big town now, baby. Look at me. I look better than Jennifer Aniston. Look at my body. No, there's only one Jennifer Aniston. There's only one Brad Pitt, and thank God there's only one Eric Fish Snyder. Thank God.
That's all you need. You said that you only need one.
You only need one, baby.
Let me ask you this. I need your humble opinion on this, because again, you're in the business. One of the brilliant films that came out in the 70s was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with Gene Wilder.
Oh, God.
And when you look at, and of course, comedians have looked at the two actors that have played that famous role. One is Gene Wilder.
Correct.
Okay, I'm going to show you Gene.
Please do.
Okay, look at that. All right, excellent. Just a man that's been in so. I know one of your idols is Mel Brooks, and he's been in, with Young Frankenstein and Blazing Saddles. Phenomenal. Take a look at that face, okay? Because they're saying that if you watch the film, okay, there's been inclinations on it that it's, what is this guy doing? Why is he by himself? Why does he have Oompa Loompas around? Midgets walking around, painted faces.
Correct.
Is there some
vernacular little people?
Little people, right? Okay. Now all of a sudden, Brad Grumber is going to be politically correct. Okay, little people. Okay, great. Mr. Snacks. By the way, you got to see his snacks. I saw the snacks video with you and Short. So let's take a look at Gene Wilder. Great actor, rest in peace. Okay, and they said, well, there's something about this guy that's kind of creepy. There's nothing about him that's creepy. This guy is creepy. That's Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
Tell me that doesn't look. I mean, would you send your kid to a chocolate factory to hang out with that guy? I wouldn't.
No.
By the way, sorry. And the way he played that role. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, Johnny Depp is one of the nicest people I ever met in the commissary at Fox. He was doing Edward Scissorhands with Tim Burton, and every time I wait on him, wow, what a great guy. And then I left Fox. And then maybe 5 years later, I was at Benihana on La Cienega.
Sure.
And he's standing in front of me he was holding one of his children, and I tapped him on the shoulder. He goes, "Hey, cocktails, what's going on? Oh my God." And he introduced me to his whole family. The nicest person. He gets it, man. It's all about being humble. It's all about being grateful. That's what life's about. It's like, you were talking about money and this. Okay, let me ask you. I think we talked about this, but I'm really, it's something that really bothers me. People, I want this car. I want this house. I want all this money. I want 9 Prada bags. Okay, let's say you get all that stuff. Then what do you do? You help people. You spread it out, right, buddy? Right, Fish? You help people that are less fortunate, who will never, ever make it because of their situation. You help others, and that's what life's about, and that's why you become successful. I just watched Will Smith on the Letterman, on Netflix. Our next.
Oh yeah, his interview's up. Yeah.
Will Smith is. I met him many years ago. Arsenio Hall had a show after his show called The Party Machine with Nia Peoples. And I was bartender Johnny Cocktails at the Party Machine, because it was like a club atmosphere, and Nia Peoples, and they brought musical guests in. Will Smith was the first musical guest. And I ate lunch with him, at a lunch break. The night, it was like we were like buddies from high school. Such a great guy. And I just hope, everybody makes mistakes. I just hope Will Smith, gets his life back because he made a mistake. He apologized. Let's move on. And
Did
he is
you?
really a nice man.
I've not. Look. I have some family in the business that worked with him. They love the guy. I loved how Chris Rock handled that Netflix special he did. The way he approached it. Did you
Oh
see
yeah,
it?
I didn't see it. No. Was it good?
Okay, I don't. You want me to give? If you didn't
Sure.
see
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
well, what he said was Will Smith knocked the shit out of me, and it hurt. He goes, but it wasn't about me. We're friends, and his anger. He was pissed off that his wife was fucking his son's best friend. So the way he said it,
Right.
if Will Smith's at home watching that, he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy again, But he had a way of turning around, and he goes, and he just, and look at it. Look, could he look, that Academy Awards is crazy. How many people said that it wasn't a fix? Okay.
No.
And Will Smith is, I guarantee, he's regretful about what happened, and it happened. I know he's banned from the Academy for 10 years, but I'll bet you him and Chris Rock will make up, and they probably have already. It doesn't take away from what he does with people. His philanthropy is unreal,
off the charts,
and he entertains you. I mean, there's no Independence Day without Will Smith. Okay, there's no what's the one he did? The Pursuit of Happiness was brilliant.
Brilliant.
Okay, I Am Legend. He made you cry in I Am Legend, which is a apocalyptic. Everyone's dying. A virus takes everyone out, and he just wants to help. He wants to stay there when there's no one and find a cure for this thing because he knows that he helped start this virus. Everything this guy's done, the body of work. You're right. People deserve second chances, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and I gave you a second chance at a podcast. Anyway, but let me tell you, let me tell you something. I'm going to defend. I met Chris Rock on Grown Ups 2. Really nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah. But I will tell you something about being a comedian. And I learned this from Don Rickles. Don Rickles was the insult comedian. Okay.
Sure.
Excuse me. Chris Rock, from what I know, he was working Will Smith and Jada for years. Okay. Now remember, when these comedians tell these jokes, it affects the whole family. Okay. So I think the kids were being made fun of at school. All sorts of stuff was happening. Now, I can take a joke like anybody else, but when it gets to hurting a family dynamic, and they went to Chris, and I think they said to him, "Come on, man, can you back off a little bit?" And that joke that he told about the Jada having what is it?
She's trying out for what G.I. Jane or something like that.
Yeah, G.I. Jane, right. But what's the condition when you lose your hair?
Aplexia or something like that. Apoplexia.
Or yeah. I didn't even know she had it, but that set him off because she gave him the stinky eye. But Chris is a comedian. I don't like these comedians that say, "I'm going to say what I want," and that was unscripted. He had a set that was approved by the producers. He went off page, and he made that joke on her, and that's come off. And the whole thing is, I mean, he plays a part in this. You don't ever put your hands on anybody.
That's it.
I hope they can make up. Yeah,
that's the point.
I hope they can make up because when I saw the Letterman thing, he is just one amazing person. A really good guy from nothing in Philly. He grew up with nothing.
Now I'm binge watching this show called Bel Air on Peacock, which is the new version of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. And the lead character's name is Will Smith, and the acting's great. It's raunchier. There's language, but that's his legacy. Is that the guy and his look at the song Men in Black. Look at the Men in Black franchise. I completely forgot about. Come on,
Oh my God.
All I say is that it was an unfortunate thing that happened, but you don't. What I learned from it, it doesn't mean you go up on stage and slap somebody. That's what you don't. You don't want your kids to see that.
No, you don't want anybody to see that. He's embarrassed by it. He apologized. It's going to take some time, but he's still a good person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Look at you. You've done a lot of bad things.
I would like to hang out with Will Smith. I would like to hang out with Will Smith. Yeah. And Chris Rock.
No, Chris Rock.
I don't know these people. You do. You know what? Let me be their wingman, and I'll go to the gym with them. And you go to the gym where you do the goddamn squats for a donut, all right? We'll film it and see who gets the better response.
I will
Anyways,
do that. If
check out these glasses. I'm
wait,
getting.
yeah, no, I would like. Oh, I was just gonna say, you read my mind. If you go to Lens Crafters with me, I'll go to the gym and we'll do the donut thing.
So forget the donut thing. I have some pictures of Brad from the past to show you what a fucking stud this guy is, and I got to curse on this one. You are a stud, and you're humble. You're humble.
Stop it.
Your family sent me these pictures. Check out this broad that's with broad. She met. Sorry, honey, can't say that word. Check out this lovely woman that's with Brad. This is Brad and a girl about 3 years ago at a pool. Check that out. How cool is that? Talk about that, Brad. How you pulled that off? That's unbelievable.
Those are my favorite trunks. I'm a good-looking guy, man. Listen, hey, it's not.
That is unreal.
It's what's inside, and I got a lot inside.
You guys, that's why you're so full of life. And look at this one. This is Brad with the cabana over at Caesar's Palace. Check this out. Wow, I love it.
Look at me. Those are my second favorite trunks.
Look at this guy, man.
Those are my boxers.
Check out the two girls with you. You got. Oh my lord. Tom. Wait a minute. Tom Brady
by the hour. They were being paid by the hour.
Unbelievable. It's.
How did you find those pictures? How did you find those pictures?
Someone in your family sent them to me. Quit making fun of my brother, And I said, my God, that's true. I mean, the guy. Yeah, and it just goes to show you what's inside. What was the movie that? Oh shit, Shallow Hal. You remember that Gwyneth Paltrow was really a heavy-set girl, and he still fell in love with her. Hey, what happened to Jack Black, by the way?
Jack Black
still working?
Great. Yeah, he does a lot of big stuff. He's
very talented.
He's another really down-to-earth guy. But my favorite of all time, is John Candy, and John Rickles.
Talk about him every podcast.
John Candy is my hero. I mean, he was, he was a leading man. He was a leading man. He wasn't Dewey Oxberger. He could, he was Uncle Buck. 42 years old, we lost him. Oh man, what he would have done.
And still, you bring him up in every podcast. I know what he meant to you. You knew the man, and he still, of all the roles that he did, he stole my heart in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles when he says, "There's no Maria, my wife died," and you saw the emotion in his face. There wasn't a goddamn dry eye in that theater, and John Candy's delivering a really dramatic role. You're a really good friend. We talked about this when we ate recently. You talk about your boy Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler did three movies that were incredibly, phenomenally, dramatically acted by him. Reign Over Me, okay. The other one I can't think of.
Hustle.
That's four. Hustle.
Yeah.
What's the one? Punch Drunk Love. And then recently Uncut Gems, which he was nominated for a Golden Globe. Tell me what it's like, and we can get out of here after this, because you're a comedic actor. When you get a guy like Steve Carell, John Candy, Robin Williams in Awakenings, all these comedic actors are so good in dramatic roles. I mean, it's incredible. Is that the training on being on stage and being a comic that trained you to do this?
You have to understand something. To be a dramatic actor is, you go to school, you learn the craft, you learn, the Meisner method, whatever you need to do. But comedy is harder than drama. And you ask De Niro, because of the comic beats, the timing, the listening, the inflection, and a lot of people cannot do comedy. They might be incredible actors, but they can't deliver a comic, a comic line or a comic movie or a sitcom. It's harder than people think. See, everybody says, I'm the funniest guy at work around the water cooler. Yeah, really? Okay. It's very hard. Comedy is a subjective thing where some people love, like a Stephen Wright, and then some people love a Don Rickles, and some people like Chris Rock. Adam Sandler, he niched his little world. I mean, and Adam Sandler is really, I have to say, people ask me all the time, just a real down-to-earth, regular guy you can have a drink with. He loves his friends. Did you see the Mark Twain award that he got on CNN?
Yes.
When Rob Schneider talked about what Adam Sandler meant to him, I cried. I mean, they've been friends forever. And all those guys that work with him in his production company, he's known, like back in New Hampshire, my buddy Kevin Grady, who's now executive producer of all this stuff. All the guys from NYU that he met, he brought them all along. Don't you believe that when you're in the foxhole with somebody, Fish, and you're trying to make it in life and you're fighting everybody off, and then you get out of the foxhole, don't you get me out with you and I follow you and we go? You know, it's the people that make it and who forget where they came from. I have no respect for.
Yeah. I'm thinking about all these, I'm listening to you, but I'm thinking about all these great comedians and comic guys like Candy in that role. Robin Williams, I just saw Awakenings 3 days ago, and it's such a brilliant film. De Niro's in it, and he's so brilliant in his inflection and his meter as far as his emotions that you lose it. There's not a dry eye, and again, that's the brilliance of what you do. Let's get this writer strike over with. Yeah. Let's get the directors and actors on board, because in the world we're in right now, we need the Brad Grunbergs and the people in your business to entertain us and make us laugh and make us take our minds off who's running for president, what's going on with the debt ceiling, all the bullshit that goes on. I'll leave you on this note because I love you. I think Denver wins the championship. It's against Boston. I think it goes 7. But you called it. Congrats. Bravo to you. You said Joker and Murray. And at the time, I know I'm going back to basketball because it's on the top of my mind. You being great friends with Steve Kerr, you told me that Kerr said to you that, hey, this team, they're young and they're vivacious, and you're a big Warriors fan, and you still pick Denver.
No one stops the Joker. He's unbelievable. Look how he runs the floor, right? I mean, he dropped 30 pounds. He got in shape, and no one stops him. And Murray is having a career year. I just love great basketball, and it's going to be a great NBA Finals.
Okay. Listen, we're in Vegas right now. You're in Los Angeles. I don't care about the Joker or Adam Sandler in New Hampshire, all these things we've talked about in this wonderful hour where I ruined it for you. The one thing that matters at the end of the day, okay, is it's love. And this is love to me. Take us out, buddy. Take us out.
I love it. And right after that, we hit the hometown buffet in Vegas. It was unreal. It was
wait a minute. That's your buffet right there, buddy.
That is so.
You can't get better food than that, kid. I'll tell you.
Well, number 12's in the book. I had a great time just chopping it up with you, Fish. And we're going to see you with Jesse, I think, next week.
Well, you know what? We're going to do a lot of times people don't do these, but we're going to do Memorial Day, celebrate our veterans, Brad and I, and we'll see you at about 10 o'clock Pacific time Monday, and we'll probably have Jesse on. If not, then you'll hear more spew from us, and we'll have some. We'll figure it out. But this is the Fat Fish Podcast. That is.
I'm Brad Grunny Grunberg, a.k.a. Snacks, and that is Eric Fish Schneider. We'll see you next time on Fat Fish. Stay safe out there.
Have a great weekend, everybody.